Doctors recommend taking a fart walk on Thanksgiving. The Santa Claus house at the North Pole was targeted by an armed man. And a new study shows that Batman makes people behave better in public settings. These are the weird stories on Weird AF News, your only source for daily weird news podcast in a podcast format. I'm your host, Jonesy. I have 3 strange, bizarre stories for you. Let's do it. Doctors recommend taking a fart walk on Thanksgiving. I'm a little late with this story. I probably should have done it before Thanksgiving, but I didn't see it until the weekend was already here. So I thought, why don't I cover it now? And now you'll be well informed for next Thanksgiving, because this is about your health right here. You should take a fart walk on Thanksgiving for your health. Well, maybe some of you are still taking a fart walk 5 days after Thanksgiving. I don't know. I don't want to prejudge your system. Let me jump into the story about why you should take a fart walk on Thanksgiving. After indulging in a big Thanksgiving meal, many experience discomfort, but we have Dr. Trisha Parisha. Hey, could I please speak to Dr. Trisha Parisha? Is she available for speaking? Dr. Trisha Parisha. She's a researcher. She works for the Gut Brain Research Institute. And the doctor suggests a simple remedy with a memorable name. She calls it the fart walk. Here's a quote from Dr. Trisha Parisha. So the fart walk is the highly scientific term for just a walk that you take for about 10-15 minutes shortly after eating a very large meal, such as at Thanksgiving, like the kind of meals we all eat on Thanksgiving. And what it does is it helps relieve the bloating and all that flatulence. Oh, fart walk. Oh, geez, I've been doing it wrong all these years, guys. I just fart in the leather chair in the midst of my relatives. That's what I've been doing. Who knew I was supposed to go walk around afterward? Do it outside, but then no one can enjoy my post-Thanksgiving flatulence. I want everybody to enjoy it. Sometimes I save it for the Thanksgiving car ride or next morning elevator. Now, the doctor goes on to say, in addition to easing the bloating, there's actually a second very good reason to engage in what she calls the fart walk, which is that going for a walk after eating actually helps prevent spikes in your blood sugar. So kind of bringing those blood sugar levels down is what you want to do. And you get that from the fart walk, she says. Nice. I don't know about you, though. I don't need a doctor to tell me about fart walking. I mean, I've been doing that. My whole life. I've been doing my own fart walking research. And I even got my own method. I cover up my farts with the smell of sticky icky, especially on Thanksgiving. Usually a little stroll with the cousins would do it. Sticky icky. You do a crop dust as you're enjoying the sticky icky, I find. Everybody know these terms I'm throwing around? Crop dusting, sticky icky. It's cannabis, guys. I'm talking about cannabis, and I'm talking about crop dusting, which is also known as a fart walk. And I'm a grown man inside a closet saying these things into a microphone. What happened to my life? Now, the article ends by saying Dr. Trisha Parisha is an instructor of medicine at Harvard Medical School. Wow, the doctor that thinks she created the term fart walking goes to Harvard Medical School. I'm sure they're very proud of her. She writes a column, and she wrote a book called You've Been Pooping All Wrong. Oh, boy, this woman. Well, she knows a lot about the rear end, it seems. Someone's got to know a lot about the rear end and make a lot of money knowing it, and then telling us the obvious things that we kind of already knew about the rear end, because we're all very, very familiar with our own rear ends. Like, I already knew about the fart walk, for instance. I didn't need anybody to tell me. I didn't know there was a label for it. It's just something we do. Go for a fart walk after your big meal at Thanksgiving or Christmas or Easter or whenever. It works great for all-you-can-eat buffets as well. I go for a fart walk in the middle of the buffet, then I come back to the buffet. All right, well, I think I've overshared here, but it's important to talk about the fart walks. And the doctor isn't mentioning the proper attire for a fart walk. I recommend basketball shorts. Extremely good. They're very loose. They have an elastic waistband, so you can kind of shake out the flatulence after. A skirt is probably the best, though. Okay, I need to stop. This is getting out of hand here, and I need to go and question my life's choices, obviously. The Santa Claus house was targeted by an armed man. This story's out of Alaska, where apparently there's an actual Santa Claus house at the North Pole. Did you know that? I really had no idea. Is this where all my letters went when I was a child. The article says a Palmer man, that must be a city in Alaska. He's being charged with terroristic, that's a word? Terroristic. Oh, terroristic threatening. Never heard of that phrase before. I don't even know terroristic is a word. Well, we're learning new words, too. Stop acting so terroristic. Go for a fart walk, would you? Why should we be subjected to your terroristic flatulence? This guy is charged with terroristic threatening and terroristic assaults after he brought a gun into the Santa Claus house and he threatened a grocery store employee. This is all at the North Pole. There's a Santa Claus house at the North Pole. Sounds like a dream. Ooh, there's a photo of the Santa Claus house. Wow, it looks delicious. Can you eat this thing? Wow, I just want to eat the eaves. Looks like you got some gingerbread eaves. Never wanted to eat eaves before. I've eaten leaves. That was a mistake, though. That was pushed into the dirt pile. Okay, back to the details of the story about the Santa Claus house and an armed man. They usually don't go hand in hand, right? Armed man, Santa Claus house. You know, you would think you would never want to bring a gun around a Santa Claus house, but some people, they got issues. Maybe they got coal in their stocking last year. Just getting some revenge. This happened on Tuesday morning, right around midnight. Was the Santa Claus house open this late? They got a speakeasy in there, I'd imagine. Ooh, some gingerbread espresso martinis. Oh, that sounds amazing, doesn't it? Did I just make up a drink? A gingerbread espresso martini? I'm going to look into this. Now, this is some research that we need funding for. Can you make a gingerbread espresso martini? Okay, we got a Santa Claus house. After hours. Probably some strippers in there. Elf strippers? What do you think? Okay, we got some midnight. 25-year-old Nathaniel J. Cowell was reportedly seen on a surveillance camera doing, quote, brodies around the property of the Santa Claus house in the North Pole. What's a brody? Anybody know what a brody is? Never heard of this before. Let's go look it up. All right, it says here that doing brodies or pulling a brody can refer to a few things. Most commonly, it's a dangerous stunt, such as a donut in your car, but it can also mean suicidal leaps, a complete failure, or a sharp turn in a vehicle. It is believed to originate from Steve Brody, who claimed to have jumped off the Brooklyn Bridge in 1886. Oh, doing a brody, so some stupid stunt, but also doing donuts in your car. All right, we're learning, all right? It's the most common usage, it says, doing donuts in your car, spinning around in your car. We call them donuts, but then again, I grew up in a Dunkin' Donuts environment, so I don't know if everybody in the world calls them donuts. In other countries, you probably call them something else, like pancakes or areolas. I'm not sure. Email me and tell me what you call them. It's funnyjones@gmail.com. I want to learn about such things. Okay, back to Nathaniel doing brodies on the property of the Santa Claus house at the North Pole. Which they say is approximately 14 miles from downtown Fairbanks, Alaska. That must be the nearest major city. It says that Nathaniel was circling the Santa Claus statue, doing his brodies, knocking over parking barriers as well. Sounds like he's just having a good old holiday time, really. He's probably all hopped up on the Christmas cheer in a glass, which could be a number of things. I don't know what your go-to Christmas cheer in a glass. I do like eggnog, which I heard a comedian once describe as elf sperm. I'm not sure if that's really what it is, but it's quite delicious with whiskey. And you see, this is why AI could never do what I do, because this is a stream of consciousness show sometimes, and I just, how could you ever replicate this with AI? It's just not going to happen, so I think my job's safe. I will continue to make $3,200 per month with my podcast. No fear of losing my career to the AI. Okay, back to the story about Christmas cheer with Nathaniel doing brodies in the parking lot. So I'm going to guess he's on some drugs and drug paraphernalia, or just could be booze. Or maybe he has a gripe with Santa. All those letters that were unanswered. According to the North Pole Police Department, imagine working for the North Pole Police Department. That's really a thing. A lot of reindeer crimes. Cowell appeared on the video to chamber around in a rifle and climb on top of his vehicle. Oh boy, it got dark real quick. The defendant paced and sat, waiting on top of his vehicle with the rifle for approximately 10 minutes before climbing down, pointing the gun at the highway several more times, finally driving away, later arriving at the Three Bears grocery store down the road. Three Bears grocery store? That's the name of the grocery store? And then you got the Santa Claus house. This sounds like a wonderland up there at the North Pole. I need to check it out someday. Maybe do an interview with the real Santa. The manager of the Santa Claus house. Imagine being the manager of a Santa Claus house. Does it get any better than that in life? Wow, of all the jobs I thought I wanted, I'll chalk that up as pre-Santa Claus house manager, and we got post-Santa Claus manager. I mean, there's before I heard about being a manager of a Santa Claus house, and then after I heard that you could be a manager of a Santa Claus house, and my life is forever changed. Nevertheless, the manager of the Santa Claus house, do you have to have a beard for that job? I can't grow a beard. He reported to the North Pole Police Department that he believed that Nathaniel was trying to attract attention to himself and was making threats to shoot or kill responding officers, employees, and customers of the Santa Claus house through the surveillance video, and that he would come back at some point. Oh, all right. Well, I mean, he's making some assumptions there. I mean, if the guy wants to kill people, he would go during the daytime when the Santa Claus house is operating, right? I assume it doesn't operate at midnight. That would be kind of weird. Now, continuing the details, Nathaniel arrived at the Three Bears grocery store parking lot at 3:30 a.m. and approached an employee's vehicle with a rifle in hand, and the employee reported to police that she believed he was going to shoot her. While this grocery store is open very late, though, you would think. A little late for Alaska, but I mean, who's going to the grocery store at 2:30 a.m. in Alaska? It's just far too cold. The employee fled the scene, thankfully, called 911, warning other employees to stay away. On the surveillance camera, the suspect, Nathaniel, arrived at Three Bears in a maroon SUV at 3:34 a.m., paced the parking lot with the rifle. For over an hour, he was pacing the parking lot? Where are the police? Over an hour pacing the parking lot with a rifle. Officers arrived on the scene eventually. Nathaniel reportedly discarded the rifle in the road and fled. A shotgun was also located inside his vehicle. That's how I'm going to say it. A vehicle. That's right. AI would never be able to come up with that. Okay, now Nathaniel was taken into custody after he allegedly approached an Alaska State Trooper vehicle and started to bash it with a large stick. He then reportedly fled on foot in the area of North Santa Claus Lane. Oh my goodness, Santa Claus Lane is a real street. I had no idea. I thought it was just in the song. Cool, huh? Santa Claus Lane, where Nathaniel was apprehended. It's going to be a great memory for him every Christmas. Going to be difficult for him to hear the song ever again, probably, too, sadly. All right, it says that he was indicted by the Fairbanks grand jury, and they charged him with 1 count of felony third-degree assault, 2 counts of second-degree terroristic threatening. A family member of Nathaniel reported to Judicial Services that he's reportedly suffering from significant mental health issues. Yeah, more than likely. So sad. Yeah, it's just a lot of guys in my country with mental issues and owning firearms. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. All right, well, that's depressing. So let's talk about the Santa Claus house. They have a website. Did you know that? It's santaclaushouse.com. It's one of the top attractions in Alaska and has welcomed millions of visitors from all over the world. Wow. Anyone ever been to the Santa Claus house? It looks so picturesque. They got the history of the Santa Claus house. Apparently it was built in 1952, originally as a trading post by the Miller family. The website says inside the famous Santa Claus house, you'll find the perfect gift for all ages and occasions. They have an assortment of Christmas decor and ornaments, exclusive North Pole apparel, collectibles made in Alaska, as well as unique toys. Enjoy a delicious piece of fudge, coffee, cookies, chocolates, or candy from the sweet shop. Outside, you can have a seat in Santa's sleigh. Wow, cool. It's parked just in front of the world's largest Santa. It's got a few bullet holes in it, but don't pay attention to those. They also have a larger-than-life three-dimensional Santa statue, the one that Nathaniel was doing Brody's around. It's 50 feet tall, the Santa. It says, don't forget to visit Santa's reindeer team before you leave as well. They got some real reindeer there as well. What a magical place. No, maybe one day I'll be up there. I've never been to Alaska, but they got comedy up there. I could do it. There's a phone number here if you want to call. Just ask for Santa. 1-800-588-4078. Just call and ask for Santa. See if Santa gets on the phone. It's off-season, so Santa's not working right now. I'd probably get him on the phone. Call him up, ask him if he wants to join your fantasy football league. That'd be pretty cool, having Santa part of your fantasy football league. Okay, now I'm starting to not make any sense. I'm going to eject.
Black Friday savings are here at the Home Depot, which means it's time to add new cordless power to your collection. Right now, when you buy a select battery kit from one of our top brands like Ryobi or Milwaukee, you'll get a select tool from that same brand for free. Click into one of our best deals of the season and stock up on tools for all your upcoming projects. Get Black Friday savings happening now at the Home Depot. Limit 1 per transaction. Exclusions apply. Full eligible tool list in-store and online.
A new study shows that people behave themselves better in public when Batman is around. It's the sound of science. Boop, 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 science. And once again, too, like major science going on here, Batman-related. That's right. Batman-related science, research. They've been studying me, as they should, because I am the Batman. It says here nerds have published a new research showing a sharp rise in helpful behaviors when a person dressed as Batman is present in public spaces. So people are more helpful and probably more pleasant when Batman's around, although you could probably do this study about other things as well. I'm sure people are like this when Xena, the warrior princess, is around. Or boobs. Everybody's helpful when there's boobs around. Everybody's happy when they see boobs. And pie. When there's pie around, people tend to be very, very agreeable and pleasant, I'd say. But this isn't about those things. It's about Batman. And I'm sure millions of dollars were poured into this research. The study was released in the NPJ Mental Health Research publication. They tested how an unexpected event could influence everyday interactions. Researchers described the findings as evidence that unusual or attention-grabbing moments can disrupt the mental autopilot people rely on during routine activities, which can increase pro-social behavior. It was led by Francesco Paganini. Francesco Paganini is a clinical psychology professor at the Università Cattolica in Milan, Italy. Wow, Francesco Paganini, so cool, just doing Batman research, drinking wine, living life, a lot of linguiza. So it says Francesco Paganini's team ran some experiments inside subway cars. A woman who appeared visibly pregnant entered the train. Researchers observed how often passengers offered their seats to the pregnant woman. Then they repeated the scenario with one change. At the same moment that the woman got on the train, a man dressed as Batman walked in from another door. Across 138 passengers, the presence of Batman produced a significant shift in behavior. Just over 37% of riders offered their seat when the Batman was not present, but when Batman appeared, that number rose to more than 67%, nearly double, of people offering the seat to the pregnant woman. Women accounted for most of the seat offers in both versions of the experiment, at 65% without Batman and 68% with him. Which just shows you that women are just much better than men in general. Researchers noted 44% of the people who gave up their seats said they did not even notice Batman at all. Yeah, sure. How do you not notice a Batman getting on the subway, liar? According to the study, though, this suggests that the offbeat event can still somehow influence behavior, even if it does not register fully. Paganini said the findings align with previous work connecting present moment awareness to increased pro-sociability. He also added that the results could help shape future approaches for encouraging small acts of altruism, including public installations or social campaigns designed to break routines and draw attention to moments. Yeah, you should just put nerds in a Batman suit on every dangerous spot in the U.S. I mean, if this Batman effect is real, just put the nerds in the suits. They'll do it for very little money. These nerds love to dress up. They dress up as Batman for free. They pay money to go to these conventions. Of course they're going to dress up. Try other superheroes, too. I'm sure the same thing works for Spider-Man, Captain America, Catwoman, you name it. Although Catwoman is not really a superhero on the good side, from my understanding. I'm not really familiar with all this stuff, though. But, you get the drift. Just put recognizable superheroes in public spaces and people ought to behave themselves. Maybe they will behave themselves. Maybe you won't see so many people just passing out on the city streets with drug paraphernalia in their grip. Because, come on, man. Who's going to smoke the crack when they see Batman standing there? They might think that they've already smoked the crack. Whoa, man, this crack is... Where did you get this crack, man? I'm looking at Batman right there.
When you walk into a Burlington, you're walking into amazing prices and great gifts. That's main character energy. Because at Burlington, the holiday savings aren't the only things turning heads. Discover quality finds and perfect presents for everyone on your list, even those who are hard to shop for. Toys and jewelry to new beauty brands and styles, these gifts go seamlessly from our stores to under your tree. Seriously, with these savings, why shop anywhere else?
Burlington deals, brands, wow.
Hi, my friends, loyal listeners. Thank you for spending some time with your buddy Jonesy in this episode of Weird AF News. Appreciate all the Thanksgiving emails and wishes I got over the weekend. It's nice to hear from you. I had a great time. I think I already talked about that on Friday's episode, Florida Friday. But if not, just letting you know it was a good time, and the weekend's been great as well. Thank you for asking, and I appreciate that. I got an email from Jenny, who wrote, "Hi, I'm a listener. I especially find your accents very, very funny. The stories are pretty weird, but you are the thing. I'm from the UK, so I don't always find the US sense of humor so funny, but I listen every morning. What do you have against Florida?" Anyway, you just read out your email address, so here's my hi. Jenny Thomas. So shout out to Jenny in the UK who likes my accents. I thought my accents were pretty bad, so it's nice to hear a compliment from Jenny about them. And also, it's I'm very flattered that she finds my sense of humor funny. Because I think a lot of people in the UK don't find our sense of humor over here very funny. Does that make sense, that sentence? Sense of humor funny. They don't find the same things funny. People in the UK, I actually like their sense of humor more because it's a little darker, a lot of bitterness in it. You know, they take the piss out of each other, and they're not as sensitive. I think I find Americans to be quite sensitive. You know, you get on stage, make fun of people. They're just like, oh, why are you gonna make fun of them? You know, but I just think Europeans are more mature in general, and that's why their sense of humor, to me, is better because it's more sophisticated, and they can get a joke. It's just, Americans are really. I'm sorry, man. It's just this is the experience. I've been doing stand-up comedy for over 20 years, so I think I got the data to back this up. Anyway, I got to move on from this. Just shout out to Jenny Thomas. Stay in touch, girl. It's nice to hear from you. I appreciate that. Tell your friends that, hey, maybe you need to spread the word over there that, hey, this guy for an American, not bad. Simon bought me coffee, so I want to give some love to Simon. Bought me coffee off my website, weirdafnews.com. That's where you can buy me coffee. You can join the Patreon. You can give me a PayPal donation for the holidays if you want to keep me caffeinated throughout December. Simon wrote me a lovely note. When you buy me coffees, you can write a love note or a hate note if you want, a message of hate if you'd like. I'll still read it. Simon wrote, "Keep up the great work, Jonesy. A smile on the morning drive helps keep the blues at bay every day. I know you can't keep everyone happy all the time, but keep the heart. You're doing good. Florida sounds like a real roller coaster. Perhaps not so far from the UK these days. The first few stories in this link might make your jaw drop." And then Simon sent me a link. Yeah, you can actually drop a link in the when you buy me a coffee as well, if you want to send me a story. So shout out to Simon. I appreciate the coffees, bro. It's going to be great. And yeah, a lot of love from the UK today, it sounds like. Wow, I never knew I was so beloved in the UK. Maybe I'll have to do a comedy tour. I think you guys would like my stand-up comedy more than the Americans do. All right, I'm running up on 20 plus minutes here. I'm so sorry that it went this long. I'm going to eject, and I will say before I go, if you want to email me, funnyjones@gmail.com. I'm on Instagram @funnyjones, and I have a website, weirdafnews.com, for all other things. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow, and good luck with your life, man.